Welcome back everybody to Meta HSE Season 1 in 2022. Joining me once again has Daddy Slim.
Amp, very nice to see your beautiful face once again. And hello, everybody, to our second game of the evening. We've got ourselves three. If you just missed it, it was Blacktown Boys High School, the Wanganeen 22 boys winning against Team Nova 13-7 over on the side of a bit of good stuff there. We love to see it. But John Monash Science School, Phil the Wrath up against the Melbourne High School boys who have come up with a pretty good name there. It's just MHS, pretty solid. It's easy to remember as well, so we like that. But both of these teams looking to try and find some wins to start this season. Of course, it is the second round, and they want to make them well. They want to put themselves up there. And if we remember, of course, the Melbourne High School guys getting themselves a nice win. Also, last town or the MVP of last game, Wang Thi. Congratulations to that man, going pretty wild with his stuff there. 19 kills and looking pretty solid on that jet play. A big reason that they got that one done in the end. But I mean, going into this one here, I honestly can't particularly pick a winner just because of what I've seen earlier from the Science Boys actually won their first game. And the Melbourne High School guys, who I guess we were watching last year, we don't know if there's been any major changes, but they had themselves a very nice victory. Looked very solid in last season's game. So I'm hoping that they've got themselves, again, another nice squad to do this one for. But, it's up in the air. And that's sort of the good thing with these early season games. You just don't know what could happen.
Yeah, you never know what can happen, especially since, look, they're playing for for the glory of their school. They're playing for a continuation to represent into the higher mix. So obviously, there's going to be that participation, trying to for each other out in a best of one. Last year, we have seen a very amazing Melbourne High School team come out, and so we're not sure if the roster is going to be changed into this year against John Monash Science School, which we have not yet had a chance to cast for. And so it's going to be cool. We're going to be able to get an opportunity to find out exactly what kind of talent that they are currently fostering. And so looking onto the defending side, which is going to be Melbourne High School, and attacking side is going to be John Monash Science School. And we're going to be having a fracture. Finally, this is going to be very, very good as we finally get a map. As of yet, that we rarely get a play or a cast in. And so, looking at the way the agents are going to be picked, it looks like the typical play in defense, as both side is going to be locking in that chamber coming in.
Well, it looks like it. No lock-in yet from the John Manor Shine School boys, but you'd imagine you'd always look to have around that chamber. He can be very devastating on Fracture, especially with those longer angles you get to plant from those A and B sites. But yeah, we haven't really seen any Fracture at all, particularly coming into this video. I don't think last year we actually had Fracture out as a map at that point before we finished off the season. So nice to see it there. I will say, well, my personal opinions on Fracture, it's not Breeze. So, that's a plus. I actually don't mind them. But Breeze, well, it's Breeze. I don't think I really need to say much more in that regard. But players locked in and ready to get this one underway. It's going to be John Monash Science School starting on the attacking side. The Melbourne High School boys on the defence. And yeah, I mean, pretty much a lot of the same picks across the board. The only difference being really that the John Monash guys going for a bit more of an attacking look as they do start on that side. They've got the Rainer and also the Rays. Meanwhile, it's just going to be, the one on the jet for the Melbourne High School guys. And we do see that a lot more as well with these ones here when you've got those, attacking sides starting. It can work against you once you get on the defensive side if you don't particularly have those rounds to work with into the next one. But as we get ready to start this one here, we've got our man Temporal running the cameras, which is very nice. I'd like to see that indeed. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, we've got Mr. Nico who's running production. Love that indeed. But Amp, here we go to start this one here. First round, always important. A few ghost buy-ups, a sheriff there for Yogi, some half armor for Yoris Slave, and a frenzy also for Yellow Monk. But we are ready to get this one underway. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our second game of the evening. Melbourne High School in the defensive, John Monash Science School on the attack, and they're looking to try and push their way on towards B.
Okay, this is going to be very interesting. Tower is just trying to hold this one here, obviously being pushed on both sides. He only sees the one for now. He's multiple sounds, so he's asking for a quick decision to the play. Meanwhile, Puppet is going to grab that first one. Oh, nice pick as well. Issa is going to take Aim Lab down right here. And as he's pushing, he's going to hold another one right here. And this is already going to be a lot of pressure onto John Monash Science School, who now needs to figure out a different strategy. especially since the beginning pick was not on their favor. And so one can only think that they have to rush out, trying to find something to do with B right now. They can't really be going back. It has essentially been cut off away from them. Not much more that they can do, as yeah, they are going to just come out, go for the duels, and they're going to take Issa down finally. A little bit of a breathing room, but not enough yet to secure a spike plant.
Well, now Monk looking towards the A site where the bomb is not going, or the spike is not going at the moment. I don't actually know if we're following Temporal right now, so that is
30
a
seconds
slight
left.
problem because unfortunately we can't really change that. We'll just have to wait until that might change on the other side of things. But, well, 4v2 situation. Monash, they still have an opportunity. The room is so low, though. Puppet's already found that one. Now it's all left on the one. Delta, 17 seconds. Spike is down. Not much he can really do. Has managed to get that one on the flank there, which is very nice indeed as he puts away CGH, but they can already hear him pushing through. Tries to run. Just trying to find angles, and Puppet finds a third of the round, and it's going to be Melbourne High School starting this one off with a dub. As they survive with the 3 players as well. They'll start those bumps. You'd imagine a Spectre here and there, maybe. A few things, change them up. But very nice indeed. That's what they wanted. Defended quite well. I mean, for John Monash, they just, losing those initial fights as they're trying to push on towards B. And from there, just really couldn't capitalise on anything else that came their way.
Okay. Well, hey, look, it's not too bad at that second. Obviously, a rather bad fight at tower. So Issa obviously holding the high angle. He is always going to be winning those one out. And so there is going to be a marshal to the side of Melbourne High School. Nice little bit of range play. Yellow Monk quickly spots out Yoris, and Yoris doesn't want to be dealing with that long range fight. And so this is quite interesting, right? They're trying to hold aside, trying to just utilize the breach and go for a fast play onto A. Little do they know, though, is what CJH it can do. They already called for the backup. The lineup is good, but yeah, that's what I was talking about. CJH coming down with a big triple kill. And that's always going to be the problem. People know exactly what that top position is going to be, but the lineup is where the real pressure is, and that frees up CJH to the side, and Issa being caught just while trying to run through, maybe for a possibility of a knife onto the back, is going to be taken down. So 2-0 and a round for a free goal.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what they're looking for there. Just at least a late pick towards the end, but the fullback coming through now, and it's going to be this bonus round here for Melbourne High School. The Spectre still on Puppet, CJH and Issa, Yellow Monk and Yogi are going to be sitting on those Sheriffs. Save up those credits if they were to lose this round through. But this, again, it becomes so important, these ones, because you're going up against the bonus, and you really have that in your mind. You know what you're going up against, but you don't get all of a sudden 3-0, you lose all your credits you have in that regard, and the other team, just the saving that can come through from them is enormous, and they're just rushing through the B side here, and they're all Lame Lab, he's immediately aware there could be a few here, but they're just doing this behind, pushing into this one, and they're going to try and take this fight here, John Monash. Regans is going to take down Yellow Monks, there's opportunity to go for the blinds, try and take this one towards his fight, Delta with a couple, and it's working beautifully, his aim lab is bait, we'll grab the last one there, damage done there from Melbourne High School, but that is all that they get in that regard. Now we're so left in a 1v5. They're well aware that he could be coming around from that backside as well. So, a perfect round from John Monash Science School so far. It could almost be flawless if they get this last kill as well. And, I mean, it was not a bad idea there, Amp. I mean, they do that rush through the B side, try and surprise them from the back when you have that, limited weaponry compared to the other team. But it just did not go in their favour.
Yeah, I think the idea was definitely there, but wasn't enough to go for the full threat. So, quickly, Issa is going to be spotted out. They probably don't need to do too much investment, but they are still going to be able to take him down. Delta's going to be on that triple kill. If they had a different timing to it, like if they were just 1.5 seconds behind a little bit more, they might have gotten a better angle into the B rush, enabling the whole play right there. But obviously it was a free round. They said this is something that we do or die. If we get it, we convert bonus and we roll our economy. But since the dice didn't go to their favor, they roll all lows, and so the rebuy comes in. Papa's going to be with that big operator. This is the full buy. Can be anyone's round. Joel Monash definitely need to respect Puppet into this second. You give him 2 kills, even afterwards you take him down. Next round he's going to reinvest with Tour de Force, something that many people playing Chamber and against Chamber probably has to fear about.
Yeah, well, he's just that it has that opportunity to play with the operator. Before that, you just still left its jet as Delta does that peek across there, but he's ready for it. Puppet, the teleport out as well as Yogi's also found Euroslave back towards that other side over on B, so that has fallen apart early there, so they have to try and flank towards his A side, and already the rotation has come across here from the side. Melbourne High School Salty reveals they're coming from this position. The Owen Mugs put a red rejects as well towards the top, and this is a perfect round here for Melbourne High School. They can start the flanks from behind as well, as long as they come in. Aimlum manages to find Yogi, so 4v2 situation, but they're well aware that these two players are sitting in this position. They don't particularly need to push in yet. I say that CGH or the pop flash could be available here, and it's absolutely perfect. Finds the first, could have even second. Gets away just in time. Aimlum's Bay gets the damage. Can't quite find it out, and now he might be able to put him away as he goes towards his boxes. But CJH holding it down perfectly. The pop flash, and then the finish off there on Aimlab's Bay. And 3-1, Melbourne High School respond. And now, well, Full Bay will be able to come back hitting from John Monash Science School. So they will have everything they could imagine of what they would love. And it's just some credit build up as well for Melbourne High School. But again, as we saw that, Papa can just hold that angle. And even if he misses that shot, he's just got the teleport out as well, which allows him to get back at the site, allows him to reposition. He's already up to 5 kills. CJH on 5. Meanwhile, Delta sitting on 4 as we're going again to a full buy from both teams here.
Okay, well, the good thing about John Monash is that they're pretty close to all for the full team. Right now, it looks like they are going to be trying to go for execution to be pushing up Yogi and Issa. So it's an interesting position to be in. They have to invest everything they can in order to take this one through. There's going to be the chunking. Oh, the jiggle right there. The challenge issued out by Yogi trying to go through Renzix. Really can't be doing too much. He's just going to have to sit back down while the rest of his team is trying to confirm. They work through the tunnels, trying to find something else into B and try to go for a fast execution at this stage. It probably looks like they are going to push up to tower, trying to find the lock. The possibility is that if they get this one wrong, they can just quickly hard go back into A. It's not going to be as bad, but you're a slave. Instantly gets tapped a little bit, and the ults are going to fly through everywhere.
Delta's managed to find the first as they're pushing towards that heaven position. The flash was there, but Issa with the short, he's actually going to push them around Rejix. They push him to the side now. 4v4 situation. They still haven't cleared out the top as Puppet can just wait around this other side. And he manages to swing out there to find Soldier. Slade does get Issa and another one there on a Puppet as well as the operator down as Yogi gets the trade. And CGH and Yogi finish it off there. Some nice couple to finish, and that is going to be the defuse going through. 4-1 for Melbourne High School. And, well, I mean, it looked like for a second, John Monash had actually managed to get themselves onto the side pretty cleanly. They got the trades going their way. The spike did go down, but it was very momentarily as they completely wiped out in the second attempt as they push in there. And, well, I mean, unfortunately, just not able to put it through. And those are the rounds you really need to be finding. Is now, for John Monash Science School, they're on a really rough buy here, if anything. I mean, Yoris has those opportunities to invest a bit more there. It's just going to be some pistol upgrades. And looking like a couple of marshals out. But their buy is not going to be anything compared to the full one there. Puppet again on that operator, everyone else. The Vandals and Phantom split. As we get ready for round number 6. And an opportunity for Melbourne High School to get it to a 4-round advantage here.
Well, slowly, John Monash Science School, they are going to try to utilize this with 44 onto it. But the trade is going to go into the way of Melbourne High School, trying to get the most things done. Now, this is going to be interesting because Delta holding to his ult, trying to lure something through. They know where his own rendezvous is going to be. So he is going to go into blind pick right here as well. Just it depends on what's going to happen. Meanwhile, Zero Slave gets hacked down to 10. It's going to be finished off. And Delta slowly resets it. See where the trademark is going to be at. Trying to find something. It's just so hard to deal with this right now. I mean, Delta is dueling as a Sentinel, and he is still got lots more load on the tour de force, trying to find something with a spike on the remaining 45 seconds. 1-on-4, trying to make a miracle survival or a play. One can only tell once you walk into the crosshair of someone.
Well, the problem is because he doesn't have any of that utility to block off with any smokes, flashes. He has to take these just dry peaks, and that just makes everything so difficult. Hasn't managed to at least get one pushing across the other side here. So there's an opportunity plan on the B site. That's been spotted out here, though, and now that bit of utility will allow Papa to come around the corner. The operator strikes, Delta falls, and Melbourne High School find their 5th, 5-1 after 6. As they continue to build up their credits and this lead. Full buy will come back in here from John Monash Science School, but I mean, Delta used his ult there. They've still got the 3 here. You're a slave, Salty and Regenix, but then you look on the other side. Puppet's got his. He doesn't particularly need to use his anytime soon as well because he has that operator. CGH has his available, and so does Yogi with those knives if he wishes to push into any of those signs. But, well, important round here. Full buys for both teams, and for John Monash Science School, need to try and start swinging a few rounds together. Only the one so far. And that was against that bonus buy since the guns have really come out. Haven't been able to find too much so out. And again, Melbourne High School getting so aggressive early, looking to get that flash in there. Delta's caught off guard. He will be able to get away, but he's so low, and Yellow Monk's got You're a Slave. He should be able to teleport out, but as he does, they're already flanking from behind. That will give them the advantage that they can get towards this A side, but already a 5v3 just like that.
It's a very unfortunate situation, as they are going to be able to get a plan through. Emperor's going to be popped up as well. Orbital Strike on deck as the way they play, but here comes the response. 5v3 situation. They have plenty of time. I mean, they can wait the smokes out as the rest of their team is here. That Orbital Strike, though. That Orbital Strike is very, very interesting, as he does pop a 1 or 2 situation. Empress also gets put down as well. It's a little bit funny and confusing. I mean, I know he was pretty much backed into a corner, but at the same time, he didn't need to pop that Orbital Strike. I mean, he could have used them to the side to maybe go for a force push while the rest of the Empress gets popped, but I think when you play for the time right there, that probably didn't need to be utilized, so a little bit of a, oh wait, I now know where the mistake is. Yellow Monk's the one that did it. Thank you very much for pointing that one out. Whoops.
Yeah, that was actually the, there was a defensive side going in there, so that made sense. It forced the John Monash Science School boys to take those fights and have to push out to the side, which they were actually winning to begin with. They got the first 2, but numbers prevail for Melbourne High School. 6-1 now as a full buy. Pretty much a full buy can come back in for the guys over in John Monash Science School, but while these credits coming back are nice, they really need to start winning a few of these rounds. 6-1. Melbourne High School can just continue building things up. Again, there's aggression towards their position as they look up towards the side there. The old pop, and it might just go. Doesn't quite hit, but it was one for Eurostate. I think it was damage for Puppet Scrap Delta as well. And this split on towards the B side, not coming up too well at the moment. Is has gone and taking another one on Aim base. Salty with a trade at least, and he's found 2, but there is nothing that he can do at the moment. CJH finishes it off, and 7-1. Melbourne High School all over them right now. And they're just showing no respect there. I'm just aggressing into these fights where, you know, the guys over in John Monash Science School actually have those angles to begin with, but they try the B split, just does not work out at all, and they're just holding this one down beautifully on the defensive side. As again, you can see for John Monash Science School, the buy is just not really there. A couple of marshals out, a sheriff, a spectre, just use whatever they can. But yeah, I mean, all credit to Melbourne High School at the moment. They are just rolling with it, and they're feeling pretty good, I would imagine.
Well, look, 6-round difference is huge. Their credits are absolutely being maxed out right here. And so they just rushing this one now. Yogi flying through, dashing like the Sword Fairy. Oh, man. And now, look, the disrespect, the headshot coming through with that Blaze Storm. That's just pretty much demolished everything Resi was going for. Well, Resi's going to get a no-scope. But yeah, the round is done. We are done and dusted, and Yogi was the one that enabled this one with a massive, aggressive Blaze Storm. Yep, it wasn't even something that they could have responded with, and John Monash right now, 7 rounds down, finally has the full buy, has to come up with an immediate response. Need to look for the angles to punish, possibly, but yeah, something needs to change up immediately in order to take some rounds back.
Well, I mean, the opportunity they have is that Melbourne High School have been very aggressive in pushing a lot of these angles. So if they can just hold off for a bit, they might be able to allow them to just push in and get a few franks across. But they need to start getting a few rounds on top. 8-1. Delta leading the way towards here. And there's an opportunity to see GH. He finds one, but he's now in an awful situation. He's got to find a few more. Pop flash across, trying to go to that one, but Aim Labbers Bay gets that. And Eurostate grabs Yellow Monk. So there it is. The first 2 there, an opportunity on towards the A side. They pop that one across the ult to keep them away from it, and this is John Monash Science School. A big opportunity here. They haven't had too many in this first half, but you'd imagine this should be an opportunity to lock in a second here.
I mean, surely this should be a second one on deck, especially with that full punishment. CJH gets taken down early, and now Yogi is trying to work through it. There is going to be the smoke right in front of him. And Orbital, reverse rolling thunder going back in. And so they're trying to make this one play. Pop is going to get that first one, finally gets denied. And now Yogi takes the first one, 1 or 2 situation, 11 health, trying to work something. Here it comes, one tap. Oh, that's no good. He lives, and Eurostate finally puts that one away, and that could have been another dangerous round, but John Monash is going to eventually lock that second round down.
Jeez, Yogi doesn't have 11 Elch there. That could have come out very different, but a nice play from Euroslave. 3k in the round, and John Monash Science School find their second. Still 2 rounds left in this first half. An opportunity to find 4 here, something to work with onto that defensive side, which, I mean, you feel like Fracture is definitely, defensive sided. If you have that, well, working in that favour, and we've definitely seen it so far with the operator use from Delta and just the aggression they've been able to put on John Monash Science School before they can get set positions as well. So looking for one here, but Delta's the one to grab it first as it's a fall, so that's that teleport away as well, allows him to get out of there safely if there's any re-aggression. They're finally starting to get themselves some opening picks, a bit of an advantage, 5v4. Joris around the corner. Will be spotted out there, but that can just allow him to fall off that angle back towards the A site, which is where they look like they want to be heading, a split from both the back there and also coming through main. So big opportunity to find themselves a third round here. Just need to try and win these two fights off the sides here.
Smoke's down. Slowly, surely with the map advantage right now, they can just open and go for a nice pick. The only thing they have to do is just locate where CJH possibly is. There should be a lot right here. RenziX should probably be giving that information around as they let CJH quickly go for the pass. And so this is nice. So it's the rotation that's being baited. Yeah, it's the full rotation that's being baited. And so John Monash, they are going to be able to get a chance to go for a plant.
Yellowmark will at least be able to get Region X, so Spike should be able to go down, leave it in this 4v4, but now that's an awkward situation. Salty tries to hide in the corner. Delta's managed to get the trade back. Yoroslav gets CJH. Spike's still not planted. They're trying to push them away from this one here. Yogi, though, gets the trades back. 2v2. It's all left on Delta. He spotted him out. Needs to try and hit these headshots, and he does. Delta with a 3k, and John Monash Science School find their third. Holds it down. That one got really spicy towards the end.
In the half.
But a round's a round, a win's a win, and they will find their third, an opportunity to try and find four. Both teams will, well, I would say mostly before by into this last one. Issa might be a bit lower in the weaponry, but I think he might be able to be dropped a Vandal. A gift. And that is what he will get. So, full buys for both sides. And Lebus Bay is going to be on that Guardian. And actually Spectre. So, it's funny, John Monash, they win the last two rounds, and their credits are actually worse off. So, you know. In we go. You love to see that, don't you? You win the rounds, and you'll have less stuff here. Delta and Yoroslav do have the ultimates going into this, but opportunity to find four. Something to really work with in towards that second half on the defensive side.
Yeah, you love it when the finances are just not as good. So, Yoroslav is quickly going to get the showstopper, but Papa's going to put Delta down, and oh my god, he doesn't even get the ult down. And so Yogi, once again, on that blade storm, trying to get the knives out, reverse, and trying to just rush Salty out. Renzi, meanwhile, gets Empress right here. They are going to rush through. Salty already down. It's just Empress, just this one. Nothing's going to be done. 9-3 back onto it. And so, just like how Luna and Terra is going to be delisted, right now, John Monash, they need to do some delisting themselves, trying to find Melbourne into the weakness, because they need 6 in order to equalize.
That they do. 9-3. Well, the curse is there. The old 9-3 curse. So it's pretty, you know, you'd almost just give it to John Monash Science School at this stage, because that's just how it works, unfortunately. I don't make the rules in that regard, but Melbourne High School, if they find this one here all of a sudden, it does become so much more difficult for John Monash, because then you're thinking, do you force into the next round, depending on how close the round is? Do you save for the next? Do you allow them to get to that 11? So much can happen through this first one here. CJH with the Ghost, Yogi as well. Frenzy on Yellowmark. Classics on Papa and Issa. Meanwhile, a couple of Ghosts on the other side of John Monash Science School for a few of the boys. HSE going to be one of them. Getting really aggressive towards that back to the A there. But meanwhile, Yogi's already got himself in towards heaven, back towards A. In fact, 2 there, the spike going around. They might just try the flank around, possibly. Flash going from that side, but this could be actually a huge opportunity for Madge to find these first ones here. They're actually going to collapse on B, and all of a sudden there's so much pressure on the Brim and Delta as they wait towards this one. Salty in such an awkward position. He's going to be taking these fights. He's been modded out. Issa puts him away, and now left in towards heaven here. Delta, what can he do? Puppet's trying to push him out towards him. The spike goes down, leaves it in a 5v4. This is a really rough one for John Monash, but they do get that first pick there, so there's an opportunity, and Delta also finds CJH.
Whoa! As we go to the Renzi, quickly gets killed up once again. And now it's 1-on-2 situation. Yellow Monk, can he take this one out? Aim Lab is looking to try to defuse. He's running out of it. And so the ball is there. Oh my god! The timing is perfect, and Yellow Monk lives in 14. A very, very close round back and forth. And hey, look, right now, Melbourne High School, they are gonna be able to buy and afford everything that they possibly need in order to secure a quick and easy round, trying to drive this into 11-3. They're gonna have 3 Spectres, 2 Marshals, go up against 3, well, could be 4 in reverse, no, so it's, yep, it's gonna be 4 in reverse, possibly a 5th, but that is gonna be putting No, that's not going to be there. All right, never mind. As we're going back to this, John Monash, they need to immediately find something back, deny and reverse into the denial of economy. Nice dinks going around to CJH as he tries to just quickly get a suppression knife through, and the stack is coming in. Oh my god, they lock up Yogi, but they're also stuck right in front of the molly.
Same line with Gray's of that one. They do grab the first, but that does mean the B side is wide open for all this spike plant. Smoke's going down. It will be the plan here from CGH. So the force up here from John Monash could still work very well here. They need to make sure there's this one here. CGH, he's on very low HP. Has managed to get himself back towards that B-node position as Delta running on through those first smokes are fine. Almost the first one. Yellow Monk gets Delta, but rejects with that trade back. Lives in the 4v3, but puffing on aim lab as Bay reach next. They're keeping the trades going their way. CGH is so low, but hits your slave right in the head. Suppression up close. The pop flash over the top, but Salty pushes on that, and it's all left onto Issa, trying to hold this one down. Defuse half done. He hits, but doesn't quite kill. And John Monash Science School, the force works. They get that one done. They almost have to sacrifice most of their team, but they were getting the rounds, and that's all that matters to them. As now they can just sort of buy back in with these Spectres. And what do the boys over on Melbourne High School do? Because they've had the spike plate now twice. They can look to force up and try and beat them out in this credit battle, because realistically, they only need to get the 1, 2, 3. They just keep it going that way. All of a sudden, they're the ones on top, but looks like maybe some slight forces there, like some pistol upgrades. Issa does have that opportunity to buy up that Marshall, but I don't think it's going to be anything too ridiculous. So they'll be happy to try and get a spike plant, some picks early. Could change the swing of things, but full Spectres for John Monash Science School, and a very big opportunity to find themselves a fifth. Let's try to work themselves back into this game.
So far, I think the threat is that oh my god, Yogi tried his best to go through, but yeah, no, as soon as he went through, your slave was pretty happy to go with that exchange. Shotty against a, against an automatic. Oh, your slave is also going to get another one to Issa, so reducing this into a 5v3. Here's the problem, right? You still got CJH, you still got Puppet still alive right here, and so a Headhunter can definitely do a lot more. As they quickly locked up the side on A, they find it completely open. The rest rotation is going to come through. Anything they give away right now is possibility of a rebuy to the next, with the economy losing into the tethers. They don't want to be doing that. As nice little bit of damage onto Salty right here is going to be going through. Delta goes down, and there's going to be the exchange. They're going to find CJH onto the back, and okay, they don't get too much more. So that's a nice little bit of defuse coming back in. They don't lose too much out of it. So a bonus round is going to come online for John Monash against Melbourne High. And so if they're able to convert this reset economy, they might just be in a much better position.
Yeah, it's a sort of an interesting one then, because they've managed to get themselves the first 2 of the 3 rounds in this half, and now you feel like this should just be Melbourne High School picking this next one up, because they do have the better weaponry now, but still, Spectre's available. Renton Zix has also managed to get himself that Vandal upgrade while still keeping those 2,000 credits, so they'll all be able to buy fully next round no matter what happens here. Meanwhile, Melbourne High School, they lose this, all of a sudden their credits are really in the bin. Even if they just lose a few players, those rebuys, you'd imagine they'd just be on the Spectres and maybe a Sheriff's next round if it doesn't go to plan. Really a lot of aggression towards this B main area, trying to find these fights, and there's 4 of each, so they try to hold this one down, but Puppet and Yogi find those first 2. Some push-ups there. Delta will be able to get Issa, but still, trades falling to Melbourne High School in this regard. They're still trying to push them in towards that, pulling away towards the A side, which is completely clear. That's been given away. And CJH, he's actually moving his way back through that mid side. He might be able to get a couple on the roadside if he gets himself tucked in the corner, which he has. As Yellow Monk and the boys start to make their way towards A. CJH, this should be a pretty easy kill. There is no way the slave clears out this position. Down he goes. Stands for a second as well. The spray doesn't quite work. 9 HP, still alive. Pop flash away. He's got his teammate playing with him, gun modded, and Yellow Monk will finish it off. So, bit of an awkward battle, but now it's all left on the Delta. And the bonus round, unfortunately, not going to go John Monash Science School's ways. Well, 20 HP. Suppression will get his presence detected. The Vandal Lord from Yogi will finish him off. 11-5 after 16.
Well, you can't really be doing anything right there, and I think Delta didn't buy any armor to the last round, so we're looking for an extensive buy coming through, possibly looking to the operator, looking into getting, well, you know what, he doesn't even need to buy, he can just go straight into ult, and that would just be, he can save us some extra credit to the next one. Empress and Rolling Thunder also available on the opposite side. Melbourne High School has 4 ready with the full buys, the economy looking pretty strong. Now, they win this one. Next round is going to be pretty much a reset on economy to John Monash. Not the place you want to be at. And so looking to do a lot of damage. So here comes the suppression coming straight in. CJH is going to be the one to enable. They are going to execute onto a rather defenseless A at this second without too much contention. And that is not going to be something that John Monash wants to walk into.
Spike planted.
Well, 5v5. And now the retake, it kind of has to happen. They don't really want to allow them just to get that 12th round like that. But also the pop going up from there as they start this push in towards the side. Retake needs to happen right now. Monk's moving at first, but Bay is going to trade him out very nicely. Delta has to teleport away from that one. Leaves it in the 4v4, and A-Lab is Bay finding some nice picks here. Some good damage as well as he finds himself a second. They continue to push on, trying to find these angles. They're all sort of back to us as again, they teleport away. It's not exactly in the worst spot on them to start defusing, and now they can just hold it down, but CGH is fine too. And now Regix just trying to hold this down. He might have a chance, and he gets it! Oh, the defuse goes through! Oh boy, that one got close, but John managed Science will get the job done. And I don't know, Ant, they all went back to B main, but the spike wasn't particularly planted for it, and it comes back to really go against them in the end. And from John Monash Science School, the retake, well, they have to sacrifice most of their players. They won't care. They find that 6. They continue to try and keep themselves working back into this one. It's Melbourne High School. The rebuy will come back in. Yogi might be a bit short, but he has the knives available, so he'll just use those. So rifles across the board. Lovers Bay will be on that Spectre, but everyone else, full ones, an operator on Delta as well. That could be very devastating over towards that B side.
Yeah, here we go. Yogi's going to quickly go through with a Blaze Storm. It's a shame that Orbital Strike wasn't utilized into the last one because of the angle that he was going to be at. And big Kahuna's coming in onto the Delta Diffuse. So something to live by right here. So a full buy versus full buy. Operator obviously going to go into the side of Delta. They're going to try to get this one down. CJH slowly opening down. Rengis onto the side. Doesn't really get the spot out. So as they go for the information and try to feel each other out, once again, the reset is there. Both sides is just working through some form of a play. Rengis meanwhile behind the boxes on arcade. Like, it's so tempting to just dry up, but you gotta respect Yogi, especially with that clean aim.
Oh, and he's going to be knocked up there. They breach one over the flash as well, but they don't push off that. In fact, they start rotating towards the A side, and that's actually put away so many one from John Monash High School. The A side is completely open, so we might be left in a 5v5 retake again. Though CGH slowly coming up, and Regenex is going to grab him there. Wasn't ready for that one at all, and now 4v5 situation. Monash have themselves the advantage with the numbers. Again, with these ones, they've also got the Orislave ult and a few others coming their way. Spike starts to tick down. They've got the rotation in from behind. Unix, if you can find that, but Puppets found Slave. Yogi with the knives gets that. Delta now with that operator. We'll find that first one. Smoke up, he's gone towards that heaven position as well. Monk sends out the flames. And now is the opportunity here off the feet. And also, Yellow Monkey can do his ultimate if he wants to. They're all on the side. This could be absolutely devastating. It'll force them out. Yogi jumping around there all the top, just making noise. He doesn't want to get to anything to his teammate. While this is all going, John Monash High School still outside the deep. He's waiting for it. And Yellow Monk just steps out and grabs 3. Oh, they line up beautifully for him. And Melbourne High School find 12. 6 map and series points to find themselves this win here. And they're going to do it with a full buy. Meanwhile, John Monash Science School, it's not looking too great with theirs.
Yeah, this is a rough one right now because they can only afford the Spectres. You see, Aim Lab pretty much not going to be able to do too much. Going to be on that Sheriff, trying to find something with the Spectre, the Vandals. Half armor bias everywhere. 2 major armors. Definitely not in a position to be competing. So here's going to be the problem, right? You do have Empress and Showtime that you can be dealing with, but if you give them a side like A once again, they can just sit on that orbital strike. Oh, and CJH instantly puts down 2. Meanwhile, Ranks is going to be getting the 1, trying to find something, but the damage is going to come through. He is quite low. There's going to be the flank, and that is just going to be it. Everyone goes down, and it's just going to be a one-sided crush in that last round. I gotta say, definitely wasn't something that we were expecting, but yeah, that's Melbourne High School for you. 30-6. They closed that one out in fashion.
Yeah, just completely devastated them there at the end. And the force on from that and just that aggression that they had on both the defensive and attacking side, really, well, it came back to haunt the John Monash boys. So I didn't mind, actually, that the aggression that they did in the defensive side, you know, just pushing into those fights. And they're winning a few of them. But off that, you know, you're leaving yourself in those 5v4 retakes or 5v5. And, you know, sometimes you win half of those, but not getting those early picks and not really getting rid of utility of those other players does make things really difficult. And Well, in the end, they just didn't really have enough in that first half. They find the three in the second, but 13-6, Melbourne High School, fairly solid, looked good in the attack. A few mistakes here and there, and especially on the defense, or I guess on the defensive side, looking at the attacking one there, sort of back and forth in those regards. But I mean, in the end, 13-6, you really can't complain about the score of the Melbourne High School players after that very impressive win.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go. Right now, we are gonna have an interview with Melbourne High School. CJH was gonna be representing. Yeah, he was the cardio player right there. Absolutely amazing players, executions. Only on the one side where he had the backup potatoes that were unfortunately captured, but still very very decent in terms of play. Yeah, just at this second. Is slowly coming out up for me because I can't see anything just yet.
Yeah, still waiting. I don't know if anyone can hear me. I might be having some slight internet issues. Bit of lag on my end, I think.
Yeah, I can see it. Hello, hello. Okay, so I think we are just lagging at this second because I can't really see too much onto the stream. As
Yeah,
CJH
I
is
don't
going to
know
be
if
the
I'm
MVP.
lagging or someone else is lag. Someone's having a bit of a collapse of the internet. I
That's what.
think
Oh, there
I'm
we go. We're
fine. I
back.
thought it was me to
We're
begin
back.
with.
Yeah, no, we're back now. I was lagging as well, but no, we're back. We're back. We're just gonna take it as one of those moments on Twitch. But CJH is gonna be the one to take it. He 20 kills, 10 assists, executing a lot of fantastic plays with Yogi. And obviously when you came down to dueling, this man is rare to catch him out, and so aim perfect, and slightly over the edge over the rest of his team.
Oh, that's me. Hello. Can you hear me?
Hello,
Hello,
Mr.
hello.
CJH.
Hello. All right, there we are.
All right, he has joined
What's
us. So,
up?
mate, congratulations. Very solid 13-6 victory, starting off with that 9-3 half and then just getting those ones going on the other side of things. I was going to say, were you surprised with a few that they got very aggressive as you guys did, sort of on that attacking defensive half, sort of switching, just both sides just throwing players everywhere and also just leaving those sides open a few times? Was that particularly a plan you guys are after early to, push them back with those aggressive picks and then just allow yourself to get going on those retakes?
Well, at the start, it was just sort of like the plan was just get as many picks and sort of play as safe as possible, and then play retakes on the sides that we sort of had the util to get and the ults to get, stuff like that.
Ah, fair enough. Like, most of the time when we did see you, run off to like, bait most of the things out, it was just like, complete peaks, getting the great angles. And, obviously utilizing, your two jewelers really well. I gotta say two jewelers only specifically, only because Chamber is just absolutely OP at the moment. Like, in your opinion, when you see Chamber on your team and reflecting Chamber onto the other side, what do you usually do to mark that into a success?
We sort of just let our chamber player do whatever because it's sort of an agent where you don't really need to tell them what to do because they can just get kills, place one trip, leave it, and the game's or the round's sort of done. So Justin, who's our chamber player, is good. So yeah, we just trust him to do whatever, and it works out.
Yeah, well, absolutely. I mean, that's just the perfect way to play any of the game. You just got one bloke who runs one site, and you can leave it there, and everyone else just goes and does what they need to. I mean, for you guys going forward, do you particularly have a set of agents? Like, is that just always going to be the lock-in for those ones, or is there sort of more mixes for sort of the attacking side of things, or even the, I guess, sentinels as well? Is it more just you try and stick with those five and just keep going with those for each map?
Honestly, it's just whatever anyone feels like playing on the day, we'll put them on. Like the KO pick today, it was either going to be Sky or like another duelist or whatever. So whatever anyone feels like playing, and we feel like the team comp's going to work with, we just play that.
No, absolutely amazing. And congratulations once again. Would you like to give a shout out to some peeps from Melbourne High School, even anyone around before we conclude this
Oh
interview?
god. Shout out to Eric, the best breach player OC. I love you. That's all.
There you go. Thank you very much for joining us, CJH, and congratulations once again on winning at the 6 p.m. session. We hope to see you, very, very soon once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
And so, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to come to a conclusion for the 6 o'clock session as we prepare ourselves for the next one, which is going to be Glen Waverley Secondary College against University High School. If you do like this and you have not yet followed Meta HSE, please follow us at twitch.tv/Meta HSE and HSE2, where we will be casting the latest high school leagues all around for League of Legends, for Valorant, and of course, into Rocket League. There we go.
That's the one. If you got
that's the one. Yeah.
And also, I guess, also a big shout out to our partners as well, Torrens Uni Australia and the Billy Blue College of Design, and also MSI for giving themselves, sponsoring us, giving us the opportunity to cast these games, and also all these players to compete in this league. But for now, guys, we're going to go to a quick break. When we return to see our final game of the evening, it's going to be Glen Waverley Secondary College up against the University High School. We will see you in a bit.